Welcome, everybody, to the Gears Winter Major Championship Sunday. This is where the energy should be at its highest and the players should be at their peak. And this matchup is going to be a fun one to watch, without question. F&I faces off against Hive in a fantastic series. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Guy Blaze. Blaze, how you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm feeling fantastic, bro. It is the first championship Sunday of the season. And I just gotta tell you, it hits differently every single time. The same feel, but to come back to it, man, after a long off season, oh man, it's no better moment, man. And we are about to crown another champion today. We would love to be here on land, you know, having coming off a crazy Saturday night with the Gears fam, getting ready for the tournament, ready to cheer on our favorite teams. You got Dirty One screaming in the background. All of it. We want it, but at the end of the day, UMG has put on a great event. We're still here in COVID season, and the action continues. So strap yourself in and make sure you let everybody know that the show is underway.
And you know what? They're going to be screaming in chat regardless, so they're going to be just as loud, if anything. It's going to be a fun series, without question. You know, the map is getting loaded, so I wanted to pick your brain a little bit because we had a discussion before we actually got on camera. We're going to be looking at Asylum Reactor and TG. What makes this series so interesting for you, and specifically for Hive?
Man, you know what? This series is interesting for me because we really haven't got a chance to cast Reactor like that. A lot of teams avoid this map. Now, when it comes down to Hive, one of their main auto bans is going to be Vascar, so they don't want to touch that map. Now, on the flip end, Asylum, we know how good they are on that map specifically. On the flip end, Fire Knights, they throw a curveball. Reactor here in possibly their last match of the tournament. But, you know, I got a chance to talk to Heidi last night. Me and him, we shot our shots, played a little 2v2, dominated everybody. You know, people was talking trash to him, saying PK was the best in chat. Regardless, it was all fuel for the fire today for series like this. And Tidy said that, you know what, Blaze? Honestly, we're really damn good on Reactor. We scrimmed it a few times. We got a good sense of how we want to play this map. And, you know, they feel like that they're ready for anybody who wants to play them there. I think that Hive got the leg up in this series, actually, was when it comes down to the map pool. And we'll see how that plays out.
So what it sounds like to me is they could get a potential 2-0, and that's an impressive thing, right? Because, you know, F&I threw that Reactor out there as a curveball. They said, you know what, we're going to choose Reactor. We know we're good on it, and Hive may have a chance to not be as good on it, but you spoke with Heidi, as you mentioned, and, well, they are good on it. So now F&I has something to worry about because even though they're going into their map pick, it may not be their map favorite at all, right? So things are going to be interesting without question. But you know what? The fact is, I'm very happy that Hive and F&I have made it this far in the tournament. Yes, they're in the loser bracket, but they've been highly inconsistent. But here they are beating teams out such as, you know, Noble, right? Such as, you know, you look at Glory 4, who got eliminated, Elevate, you know, and a couple of others. It's a beautiful thing. It
is a beautiful thing, man. And my heart goes out to Noble. Because, you know, we were looking at them on Friday. They literally had one of the best series we've ever seen against VQ, the Sword versus the Shield.
Without question.
It was beautiful. But at the end of the day, you've seen the players talk about it all weekend long. They've been saying it since last week that the real tournament starts in Champ Bracket. The real tournament starts on Sunday. It don't matter how good you play on Friday. It don't matter how good you played on Saturday. It don't matter in the Pro League. It's all about getting to this point and showing your true form as a squad here.
100%. Like I said, all the inconsistencies you had before, they could be made up if you have a good performance here in the Winter Major, without question. The first major of this split, or at least of this season in general, it's a lot of fun to watch. I think we got the right settings, ladies and gentlemen. No more restarts, hopefully. Cross your fingers, but it looks like everything is good to go, and Xploidz is off to a good start. Already down in Xovios, but pushing up is going to be high very aggressively, but Xploidz will punish Xovios and says, get out of my face.
Yo, great sequence of plays right there from Xploidz. Off the start, Fire and Ice, they double cap their home hill. They forced Hive to move up. And Hive, they get the capture. Xploidz, he's being a thorn in their side, buying time for his teammates to get here in this position. And he does just that. B Hill shifts back on over towards Fire and Ice. Hive, difficult decision to make. Do you overstand? Do you back up and defend? And it's looking like Hive is choosing to defend as Fire Knights are getting very aggressive here towards top entrance and through Pavilion. And they're looking good for this trip cap domination unless Solurs is ready to show us his Championship Sunday form right here.
Well, let's find out. Only 2 are there for Hive, and they're going against a wall of F&I members. They're going to fall a bit short. You asked the question, Hive, what do? Do you set up defensively, or do you go on the attack? I don't think they had a choice. On that Streets fight, 2 players from Hive were trying to push through. 2 F&I members met them at the very start of Streets, and then I believe it was Xploidz who came on the flank, ended up sandwiching them, putting them in the blender, and taking them out. Good round for the boys of F&I. Solid start.
So, you know, right there, I think off that initial, Hive need at least 1 Lancer in that fight down low at B. Keep Xploidz heads down because nobody was shooting him back. He was getting free shots on him. He got the initial down, and that pressure, especially on a Championship Sunday, it feels like double the weight here. And Hive, they don't get round 1, but you see Xploidz, he gets smoked out this time around. Hive making adjustments. I like it.
Adjustments, but for how long? That Lancer fire is real. The team fire coming out in grandiose style from F&I. Man, Tidy's going to try and take the fight. So, and there is a little of indecisiveness. And that is what bit a lot of teams in the butt yesterday, Blaze. The indecisiveness. You have to know what you're doing here and commit.
Well, you know, Solurs and Tidy both just trying to be there for their teammate and Noey to get that revive, but also they're taking unnecessary damage. That's an extra Lancer that's keeping them back, relieving some pressure for them to set up that they possibly needed. Now, on the other end of the map, you got Demise. He's going to be pushing through home hill to home hill in a fight with Xploidz. He's in a good position, getting double Lancer. He needs a teammate with him. Shock finally joins the fight, 2v2, and it's a clean 2v2 engagement. Demise pushes back Chaoz. He picks up the first kill. Now Fearzly looking to get into the fight. Multiple Fire Knights members here, multiple Hive members here. It's Chaoz on the home hill.
Hive really tried to commit there for the overextension, more importantly, the domination. They fall a little bit short. That's okay, though. They still have the lead and the objective. So now it's all about stopping that secondary push from F&I. It's going to be happening on Streets as F&I does commit 3 onto tracks 1 in Pavilion. And that 1 in Pavilion, Xploidz going to be able to Lancer out. Hive does not have a foot to stand here. Now, you notice they're backing up. But as Xploidz drop, does Hive want to push in? Now you have Exovios who's going to be in Pavilion, and he's going to be able to get that side angle.
Tidy's pistols on point, double down. Sleafer to save the day. The revive is there. Good job there too. Who is that? I think that's Shock on the other end. Well, not Shock. That's going to be Solurs there with the revive on Tidy, making sure he got to the fight. Now, Fire Knights, they're going to be pushing a home hill. Well, they're going to be defending their home hill from Hive as they're about to start pushing up here towards top entrance. Close game. Let's
see. Yeah, very close. Well, close round in general, right? Double trade moves in. Hive has to feel good that they have Alpha and Bravo locked in. So F&I, they've got to go on the attack, but I'm noticing Fearzly and Chaoz, they're not responding back in. Fearzly, honestly, he could. He would only be at 2 out of 4, which would match that of Chaoz, but I think they want to go ahead and maintain it and then have a better survivability for the end. But I don't know. They might respawn here as they do take over B. They have a real chance.
It just depends if they win the fight and they're in a good spot. He was right there. He just misses it. Hive, they hold on to B. They hold on to the lead. All tied up 1-1 here. Man, both these teams, they really want this. And I want to say the last 2 majors, they have played each other around this point of the tournament here to really kind of kick off this day. The last event, Hive beat Fire Knights, so you got to know F&I playing with a little bit more fire today, trying to beat Hive and move on and get possibly one of their highest placements here of Gears 5.
I think it's a very real chance that F&I can beat Hive in this situation. You look at the season, right? And I know we talk about it. It really doesn't matter right now. It comes down to Championship Sunday. But throughout the entire season, F&I was more consistent, and they did provide more upsets than that of Hive. And I will say, F&I does seem more poised as an overall team. Now, it is tied up 1-1. And again, this is a totally different day from the previous matches we have seen. But I think F&I has a good chance here, a good running, if you will. But we'll find out as we're now into round number 3 in Solurs. He's got the instant in hand.
And so, especially right here, this is slowed down for now. Hive, they're gonna end up making the first move. That's a great incendiary grenade coming from downtown. But even though with the spread on the cover, there's still plenty of room for these Fire and Ice members to get some good shots in on this hill. Now, they had to run through those flames. Solurs got the notification too as well, so he's just trying to put out as much damage as he can, trying to prevent the Fire and Ice players from getting that health regen, which takes about 3 seconds if you do not get shot. Sleafer knows he can't move an inch. Tidy, he takes initiative. He takes him out. The revive comes through. I think he's on his last down. He needs to be careful here. Hive is going to continue to lock in B. And now, Demise, Shock. They're going to fortify on top of the home hill. They're not going to try to do too much, waiting for F&I to come off this respawn.
I absolutely thought F&I was going to push B when that front spawn train came through. There was only one member from Hive defending the Bravo Hill. They had 3 who was isolated with them. They could have pushed that, took over B, and then backed up and played defensively. But they didn't. They hesitated, and that is going to result, I should say, in about a 60-point deficit. That was an opportunity I felt they should have taken, but now they're going to go for it. They feel like this is their moment. Sleafer knows there's a player from Hive in Pavilion. He's going to try and deal with the push him back. I believe that is going to be Xovios. He will fall, so F&I will for sure take Bravo. But this is going to be a big moment for them, Blaze. They have to hold on or go for the domination because Hive, they have a considerable lead.
F&I did a good job taking out Xovios towards the mid-map and focusing on him. But for them to get a 2v1, that meant that it was an extra guy on the map there for Hive who had to make a play, and he did. It was Shock. Picked up a kill on the middle, flanked his Demise's guy up top, and now they're on top of their opponent's home hill, keeping a win condition for their team, keeping a lead in favor for them as well. Hive looking like they're about to get their second round on the books unless Fire and Ice can fight back.
That's going to be it. Chaoz and Sleafer drop. Chaoz knows it's over with. He's not going to respawn. Hold up a second, though. Fearzly does make a nice move and Cristalize too. That's 3 down. But still, F&I doesn't have enough manpower to get on all those hills, so Hive will take it. And again, when that front spawn train comes in, it was a 3v1 onto Bravo. I felt they should have pushed there, but they didn't, and I don't know what they were waiting on. And before you know it, Hive has a 60-point lead, and it's just a bit too much.
Well, you know, they attempted to, but, you know, they had to run through the flames to get there. And Solurs and Tidy was just too composed back there. With their initial damage on Fire and Ice as they tried to trek across that long track to get to him. Now, coming into this point of the season, I feel like both these teams dealt with similar issues, and that was respawn management. And, you know, as I love to say, getting lost in the sauce. You know, getting into those ego engagements, always want to constantly fight, get into those shotgun battles, feeling like you need to be the hero in that moment for your team, where you really just need to kind of just relax and wait for the squad to work together here. Now, we saw here in that last round, it started off pretty slow. Both these squads, they understand the pressure of Championship Sunday, and they don't want to make too many mistakes here. I think we're going to see some great gameplay all day from the teams that's left in this tournament. 4 NA squads, 4 LATAM teams, man. What a time to be a Gears fan.
It's a beautiful thing getting, especially that we mixed NA with LATAM. I think it really brought the best out of so many players and teams, and that's why the level of competition is as close as it has ever been. And so many upsets are happening, in fact. Instant thrown out by Solurs, but Cristalize will get the best of them. Tidy's there for the pickup, but now you got the Lancer Fire just peppering damage away, and F&I will get the break on B, and Tidy and Solurs might be in a bad position here.
And Tidy might not have been putting out damage, but he was negating damage with those revives coming through. And you're gonna get them. They're getting pushed back lane. The last revive comes in. They hold off as long as they could, and their teammates push through towards the home hill, but the rest of Hive didn't want to hold it. They got it, gave it up, and you know, I'm not mad at them in a sense because they didn't want to fight the 3v5 on that side of the map. They pulled back multiple members of Fire and Ice. Shot gets caught off guard, a little bit indecisive. He's a little pressed too far, and he need not be there, especially in the positions in which his teammates was in. We can all clearly see that Hive was going to set up for the retake at B, but it seemed like, you know, maybe Shock wanted to stay on the home hill, cause a little chaos, buy his teammates enough time to come off respawn, and maybe get some more terrain at B and make it an easier fight for them.
We're gonna have to do something. As time starts to slip away, F&I looking to close the deficit, and they will very shortly have the lead for the first time in round number 4.
I will say that you got to have that foresight. Even when you got a lead, that 30-point lead, you got to be making plays here towards the next fight in the round that's about to pop off. So yeah, you can chill out here, relax. You can use your lead to get set up here for this B fight once again. And it's working out for Hive, right? It seemed like it was a good strategy. The double tracks come through. They pick up on the kill in the back. They're going to get aggressive. Well, Fire and Ice is getting aggressive on their home hill this time around. And Fire and Ice is actually going to be winning this engagement. And with this hill cap, if they do get a cap, they got to deal with Championship Sunday Solurs there, as he's going to be guarding it, and he pushes back Cristalize. Hive in a good spot, especially with this kill from Tidy down tracks.
Hive in a beautiful spot at this point. I thought for sure F&I was going to have the overextension in, but it doesn't happen. But Xploidz tries to go big, but he's going to fall. Fearzly is there for the trade. Now he's facing against Amicho, trying to go for the decap, but nowhere he can go. That's going to be 3 down. Chaoz and Sleafer not coming back in. They know it's futile. And man, Hive will take a 3-1 lead. I will say this, Hive, they were messing around with the OEs, but Fearzly was doing a great job shutting them down whenever they would get on their home hill. But F&I was impressed by their objective work. I was happy watching them go for the overextension and try and take over the momentum. But every step of the way, Hive was there to shut them down. The teamwork, the slaying power coming through. And F&I didn't have a leg to stand on towards the end. A close round, but the reality is all these rounds have been fairly close, but Hive's been getting the best with F&I, and that results in a 3-1 lead.
They definitely have. And, you know, something that both these teams have to work on as well is deciding when it's time to calm down and just set up on the map and not force the fight after you've worked so hard on the initial to get those initial kills and to get map control. Because, you know, sometimes they'll get about 3 kills or so, and they're like, all right, set up on the 50-yard line and just back up and relax. And it's like, hold up. You get 3 kills, you need to get as much map control as your opponent will allow you to. And you got to assess that there in the moment. And sometimes your teammates may not agree, but you got to have that presence of mind. You got to have that foresight to say, no, this is our best chance to win. Trust me, move up a little bit. And you know, play your life as safely as possible and make it as difficult as on your opponent. Like we saw Noble, when they slayed out, they were sitting in their opponent's spawn right at the edge, forcing that fight because they was like, hey, we worked hard to get to this point, and we're gonna make this difficult on you to retake the map.
Right. And they played that so well too. Like teams should take note of that, Blaze. Like very well said, because the fact that they were just on the edge of that spawn shield, remember, and also picking up those eliminations, that was huge. You know, it's fair to say though, and I think everybody knows this, Hive, it gets better as you go into the second half of Asylum. And now we are here, and they've already accumulated a 3-1 lead. So now they're going to be even more dangerous. F&I in the danger zone, if you will. We know this is not necessarily a must win as we do head into Reactor, but you talked with Tidy last night, and he said how good they are on Reactor. So Hive could be putting themselves up in a 2-0 position. F&I tries to push it back on E, but Hive is right there to apply the pressure, and they're making it happen.
Yeah, they are. They get that kill. They protect themselves from the flank. They recognize that 3 members are dead, and they're like, hey guys, let's just relax. Okay, we got all the respawns in the world. We know what they got to do. If they want to keep fighting here in the second half, by all means, let them. This early on, Fire and Ice, after this engagement, they need to be careful because I think they're staggering right now, and they're not getting a good, clean team fight, and Hive is about to apex that 200 mark. And at that point, you got to just save face.
Shock doesn't worry about the shock at all. He goes right into it. The water is nice, I guess. He's going to get Lancered out. Either way, though, he backs up. And F&I, even though Shock drops, they're not in a good position. You can really see by how desperate they're getting on these pushes, right? Fearzly pushing tracks aggressively. He runs into a brick wall by the name of Xovios. And by the way, Xovios is just a dominant slayer, someone you never want to run into without question. But a solid round for Hive, honestly a dominant round. At no point in time did I see F&I have any control.
They did it. They did not. And, you know, as Hive kept building up the points, you can feel F&I get a little antsy there, you know, forcing a fight top pavilion, not waiting for everybody to come off respawn. You know, each of these individual players, sometimes it just takes about 3 to 5 seconds for that help to come and be in a position to help influence that fight a bit, right? So you gotta have that patience there, especially in the late game. And you know, because we see the one team that really does it the best is teams like Rise and UYU, and they make these epic comebacks at the end of the round in which you don't expect, all because one player waits the extra 3 to 5 seconds for help to come.
Well, you were talking about the precious seconds, right, that matter, especially coming out of the initial, right? Seconds matter. We've seen rounds yesterday end in 249 to 250, and 1 second, a half a second would have made all the difference. And speaking of which, these eliminations make a difference. 3 players drop off, and as you highlighted, Tidy went off. Solurs has the drop. And let's not forget, F&I placed this on tracks, trying to just switch it up, but it seems like it did not work out. Hive may not have the neutral of E, but they've got the drop shot, and a great prediction as Fearzly rolls straight into the drop from Solurs.
And Solurs, man, he is a power weapon expert. He is good with it all. You get an M-bar on the map, he will slay you out. Drop shots barely misses. Torque bow, he hits those as well, but you know, he also got Demise on the squad, and he knows how much of a sharpshooter he is with that one.
Yesterday, the M-bar plays met on Vasco, which is nutty, man. Okay, hold up. Get a little three-piece. Tidy's in the mix, but hey, it's still a three-piece. I'll count it. Demise now trying to fight off Fearzly in that cover, and you notice Hive still has that advantage. Now Chaoz, last alive, and this is not where you need to be getting outslayed. We know the fresh drop shot's going to be coming up in probably about 50, 60 seconds, but the reality is F&I have tried to push into E so many times, whether it be in the previous rounds or now. It's just not happening. It's not working. Hive continues to push them, and even now.
Yeah. F&I at the back portion of these stairs, they can't push through the shock stair. Hive, they're pre-firing these corners. They know exactly where F&I is going, but great flashes coming out of Fire and Ice. Pushes Hive back a bit, so the decap will come through. Sleafer is going to check his left. His teammate gives him a call out, says that, hey, if you guys may be shifting towards me, and Sleafer wants to push through, but Hive, they didn't retreat too much. They just camped out at the bottom of the stairs, and Fire and Ice was not able to assess it. I feel like that's an antsy play there from F&I, because you already got the heal cap. Your home heal is okay. Is it a drop shot on the map that I don't know about? I think it is, the way he's standing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's it coming out, trying to throw a Hail Mary. It doesn't connect, but it was exciting to watch. But the reality is, the drop shot's in their hands. But look at how much work they have to do, Blaze. They've got to get on both hills.
Yeah, they definitely got to get on both hills right here. It's going to be a tall task. E is locked in. Demise is slaying out. Solurs picked up a kill. Xploidz gets 2, but it does not matter. We're going to map 2 with Hive up 1-0.
Oh man, and they played that masterfully. I mean, beautifully. In all honesty, the first half, I would say it was pretty neck and neck, regardless of that 3-1 lead. F&I was, keeping the rounds very, very close, and there were times where I think they could have taken a round for themselves if they were just a little bit more aggressive and not as passive. But second half, it was all Hive, without question. Hive played that so well. At no point in time, and I mean at no point in time during that second half, Blaze, that I think F&I had any advantage, any opportunity to push them back. They were the ones who were constantly getting slayed out. They never, I don't even think did they even capture the neutral? I don't think F&I captured the neutral once.
Yeah, but I think off the start of the first round, and that was it. And that was the round that they won. But other than that, it was, they really never got it. And actually, I don't even think they got the E heal at all capped up.
That's what I was saying, the second half neutral, yeah.
Yeah, no, they never made it up top. It was a good start for them. Xploidz, he made the play to get round 1, but from that point on, Hive just kept making adjustments there. Tidy made some big plays to save his team. Solurs was super consistent. Shock and Demise worked well on the other side of the map at the home street, keeping their team with the heal whenever their teammates lost the fight down low on top tracks. And together, Hive played really smooth. They played calm as well. Zovios, I didn't see him get too aggressive, forcing too many fights. He had a lot of faith in his teammates, and good job to Hive there in that map. We're about to head on over towards Reactor, Taylor.
I love what you said, Blaze. together they played smoothly. We haven't said that pretty much this entire split, Blaze. We really haven't, because they've been individuals. Exactly, and they've been trying to get those highlight reels. I get it. You want to create that content. I'm all for it. But during the Winter Major, that's not the time for it, okay? You've got to come together as a team, and you just said they played together smoothly, and I think that's the biggest difference. The Hive we're noticing now is the Hive that we've seen, you know, in tournaments past, in majors past, right?
Yeah.
Where they were able to secure back-to-back, fourth place finishes, very impressive finishes in general. And I think the Hive that we're witnessing has a very real chance to make a deeper run into the loser bracket. For F&I, yeah, you mentioned they go into Reactor, but again, you spoke with Tidy, and they said, hey, that map is almost a lock. We're so good on it. So this is about to be another bloodbath and not a guaranteed map number 3 for F&I.
Yeah, and you know, when it comes down to a map like Reactor that gets, which is our most recently added map here towards our competitive cycle. Last season, we had Icebound and Exhibit in. They left. You get Forge, a classic Years 4 map, and now a staple here in pretty much all map cycles because the teams love to play it. And then on the flip end, it's Reactor. Now, Reactor being so new, a lot of teams, they all to be in it. They don't want to play it. But, you know, as we know, with the layout, you have to be good on every map, especially if you want to win a championship. Because Reactor may be in the finals, okay? And you don't want to toss that one away, especially if you got to come from the losers bracket and your opponent's getting a free map anyway. You have to be proficient on it. Now, Hive, they scrim before, they know exactly what they want to do, so they leave it out there. They say, okay, you know, if it gets banned out, it gets banned out, but we have a game plan, and sometimes teams may think that they're about to set a trap for them, but, you know, they're going to get a realization that it's not going to be as easy as they possibly think with some of these teams being good on that map, but just, you know, it's not in their rotation a lot because there's some better ones out there.
Well, you even look at PK, they were 5-0. Now they're like, hey, get Reactor out of there, man. I don't want to play on it anymore. And that's PK. The reality is, no matter how good you are as a team, as a squad, as a 5-man unit, if you don't practice and scrim a map, if you're not effective on a map, you're not going to be good on it. I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you're VQ and you're playing on the map. Now, VQ actually is pretty decent when it comes to Reactor, believe it or not. What are they not decent at? But the reality is, though, you got to scrim and you got to practice on it. And for Hive, having that added practice now, when F&I does throw the curveball out there, hey, they're going to be ready for it. I'm personally excited to cast over Reactor. Seriously, like you said, since Exhibits and Icebound were removed and, you know, Forge as well as Reactor were added in, I haven't had a chance to really cast Reactor. I think this is my third time casting Reactor.
I think we did it once before. Yeah, I think I've only did it one time with you. And it was a Challenger Series matchup that we got a chance to catch it. So, you know, we may have seen it play once, if twice max during a pro league, and really never again. So but that's one of those curveballs that you can save for the major because the map is so new and not a lot of teams are going to be getting reps on it. And this is like the second curveball that we've probably seen on broadcast outside of Rise putting that drop shot that center on Vascar. So let's see what we're gonna get here, folks. Reactor is a map. You know, it comes down to the center of the map is a huge focal point, and we'll be highlighting that once it kicks off. But it kind of rotates around a circle like Vascar, but there's multiple different routes to get towards the center of the map. Unlike you had before there with the ramps blocked off there on Vascar. So excited to see how these teams are going to play it. You got to be careful when you're rotating not to be caught in front of your opponent's spawn there for them to come up with the spawn shield, get some free shots in your back. So know where you are at all times, know where your help is, your teammates are. And this is a map where we may see more rounds being one-off time rather than dominations and eliminations.
As you said, the mid battle is hugely important because you pretty much have a 360-degree angle on everything. And more importantly, it opens up 3 different lanes for you to then attack on those hills. But another thing about this map that people might disregard is the amount of angles that you have to clear whenever you're running through, because there's so many different angles, especially whenever you get around, C or A. So many different, points of coverage that, a sneaky beaver might be hiding behind. All of a sudden, they're taking you down. But off the rip, though, it looks fairly even. I'm not going to lie, until Hive got on all 3 hills all of a sudden. Now you got Sleafer. He's going to be challenging Demise. And Demise looking to take on the whole team. But he says, you know what? Put the ego aside. Let me back up a little bit. Let Tidy help me.
Man, Demise and Zovios hit such a great start. Zovios gets 2 kills up in the middle. He rotates around his opponent, gets towards his home hill, and so you can definitely tell that he has his route planned out. And you know, with that initial Hive, they get up to a big lead here, 50-point lead. And now take a look at the mini map. You see F9, player 9, he's going to be dead center. He can get a lot of intel for his team, a lot of marks, and help lead the troops. And that's going to be Chaoz in that position. On the flip end, Zovios is going to try to get his attention and say, hey, you're not laying for free anywhere. You have to focus on me. And I love that out of Zovios there, switching up, being a support for his team based off his position on the respawn. Now let's see if Shock and Solurs can hold off this capture here at B, because there's multiple Fire and Ice members that's going down, fighting for control here.
Fire and Ice with the 2-to-1 hill advantage. Now, I'm curious to see how well they hold on to it. You could really tell Hive wants to go on this attack. Shock at one point had the utility in hand. He's going to go ahead and whip it back out.
Oh, I don't like this player.
Sleafer. And this is the thing, Sleafer in this corner, so many angles that you have to cover, and Sleafer gets a trade.
And, you know, I saw Sleafer with that right-hand advantage. I saw Hive with the flash in hand. They knew that he was going to be the guy. But, man, you're going to push anyone. Sleafer sometimes when he's in a defensive position feels like you're fighting 2 people there. Hits straight shots, puts Fire and Ice in a good position to play for the trip cap domination. And I'm not sure Hive makes it here in time. This is going to be their last team fight of the round. Demise gets there, Shocks gets there as well. It's a close one. A revives comes through. Demise trying to draw some attention towards his way so his teammates can get there. He's soaking up a lot of this damage, and I think he got enough for Hive to be able to turn the tide here in this battle.
All right, let's see how this turns out. This is one of the closest rounds I've seen. I swear to you, the only time I have casted on Reactor, at least a handful of times I have, it was all 5-0, 5-1. So this is a great treat to see how close and even it is, but Hive starting to take the advantage again. 30 seconds, they take the victory, and F&I now in dire straits as Hive is going in for the domination. But some big kills do come out. 2 players will fall, and it looks like F&I isn't out of it yet.
Man, that was a big flank that came through there for Xploidz. And now him and his teammates, they're trying to get towards A. Multiple decaps coming through on the map, and in the end, Fire and Ice is the only team with the heal. It was really close there for Hive, Taylor. And I think that if those 2 Hive members at B focused on the double decap, even when Xploidz flanked and got those kills, he would have slowed them down just a bit in the late game, possibly for Hive to get the win, to keep the win condition there in that moment. And matches like these, it really comes down to seconds. All right, you need to, you know, make it, hey, if you can get an extra foot on that hill and help your teammate to decap the hill faster, do it.
Ooh.
Also be there for the revive if you need to. Now Hive, they practice this map and they want this drop shot between the A hill and the C hill. This is where we saw Zovios and Demise have a great initial. And I like this strategy here. Focus on one section of the map because Reactor is pretty big.
Sure.
And if you haven't got a lot of reps on it, you can cut off a portion of the map by placing big power weapons down like the drop shot.
Oh, absolutely. Now everybody has to go head first into each other, and it looks like it's working out for Hive, but they do have the 2-to-1 death advantage, or at least life advantage, and now we'll make that 4, as actually 4 players from Hive will go down, so that advantage totally gone. F&I pops off, and the drop shot should surely go into the hand. Well, it doesn't even matter. They're going in for the domination. That's the thing about Reactor, is if you can get a definitive wipe off of the rip, you can get on all 3 hills relatively easily.
You definitely can. And you saw Solurs there. He was in no man's land. He was like, okay, there's nothing I can do here in this moment. I don't got enough time to get to the B hill behind me. I have to run down this ramp with multiple lancers pointing at me at the A hill and the C hill. And, you know, they just had to concede that round. Great initiative there for Fire and Ice. They made the adjustments from the previous 2 rounds. And let's see, how does Hive want to play it? Both squads starting to build incendiary grenades at the top, and that's going to play a huge factor here as we go into the second half.
Okay, here we go. I like it. This is the first time I've actually watched a power weapon get fought for on this very map. Even whenever teams go into survival mode, being down 4-0, you know, 3-0, they don't place a drop shot, so this is a nice treat to kind of watch these teams go head-to-head, but it seems like F&I has all the advantages in the world. Xploidz will take the drop shot. They got 3 off the rip for Hive. Now, they won't be able to get a domination here, but we're going to see a little bit more of the round continue on. But again, that's slaying power. The drop shot was placed by Hive. They wanted to go head first, but F&I, they're just a little bit different on this map.
Yeah, they are, man. You know, it's that Latian Wolfpack play style. 3 members pushing towards the drop. You know, Xploidz tried to get the Lancer off his teammates, and I like the play. Try to relieve some pressure from him, but once him and Tidy went down, Solurs got focused, dropped, and both home heals go over towards Fire and Ice. Now, one drop shot got utilized. Solurs trying to get a wide angle here, and he's gonna lock off those stairs. So unless he gets shot with a drop shot, ain't nobody coming up those stairs right there towards the center. He's gonna need one of his teammates to push through the center, and the last drops gets used, but that makes this a 2v2 fight for now at the hill. And would it be in the early portion of round 3? Hey, that's a victory right there.
I think it is. I do. I mean, look, they already got a 30-point lead. Hive just struggling to gain any type of control. For Cristalize, though, he's in a tough spot, 1v2. He does get joined by Xploidz, however, to kind of equal it out, if you will. But it looks like maybe Hive starts to accumulate some kills. It's 2v2 going their way, and they will lock it up and head straight over towards C. Now, if they would have captured A, they could have been threatening the domination. If a player 2 ultimately has to back off, that's going to be Tidy. He's going to be sandwiched between 2 F&I guys, and he's going to drop.
Yeah, he goes down. And on the other end of the map, Hive is going to get their home hill back. So, dead center, Xploidz, he's trying to make his way towards B. He's getting his marks out. He has a few teammates that's going to be able to have his support from the middle of the map at Reactor. Great down. Do they get the cleanup? They will not. They won't even get the double down. Fire and Ice, they just got a slight lead. And based off the positions in which Hive ran now, they're just waiting for that perfect fight, waiting for somebody to push them, and they're going to get what they asked for. Kills getting traded off here, but the drop shot is the most important thing on the map now, and Hive knows that.
Absolutely, and if Hive can secure this, they should be able to close out that 30-point deficit. Sleafer around the corner, he's going to get chunked. Tidy now is going to get that fresh drop. Xploidz from mid. Can't make it happen, but the drop will clean up at least one. That's going to leave Fearzly now isolated in 1v2 between 2 Hive members. It's going to be a tough spot for him. As you see, he does, in fact, drop off. B is going to be locked in. That should swing the odds into Hive's favor, and it will. But they're not comfortable yet. This drop shot needs to connect. It does. That now isolates to a 3v2. Make that a 3v2 now, as we do see Cristalize get finished off. Another F&I member going down. That's going to be Chaoz, and F&I is starting to fall apart.
And this is a pinch. You got Hive members that rotated through center map as well. They're behind Xploidz. This is the spawn side of Fire and Ice, and they can't do anything about it. Hive, they get around on the board, and that's a good start for them. And there's plenty of respawns to be used here for both these teams because of the quick dominations that came out in the early round. So this last one, oh man, this last round of the half is about to get crazy here, especially with the incendiary grenades about to go down. I don't know who's gonna take it.
I don't know, man.
And I don't want to know. Okay, let me say that. I don't want to know who's gonna take it. I just want to chill here and enjoy the gameplay.
Oh, I think that's what we've been doing all week, man, without question. You know, it's a lot of work to cast all these matches, but hey, it is a pleasure without question. We've seen a lot of great series, you know, we really, really have. But let's get it going. Hive, if they can tie this first half up, that would be hugely beneficial. I thought F&I, not gonna lie, was gonna kind of walk away with this. I didn't expect Hive to already have a round, but here they are. It wasn't easy, but they made it happen. But F&I already gonna get first blood, and that's gonna be hugely beneficial for them. Somebody has to drop shot Ezra. Shock in a tough spot. He couldn't go anywhere.
Tough decision. He thought he can get the side road through the flames, but he goes down, and that allows Fire and Ice to get the drop shot, especially with 2 players getting caught there on the short stairs. Fire and Ice, they do a good job off the initial, and now they're going to be starting to rotate towards the home hill here of Hive. But for now, they're doing a good job defending. They're going to have to worry about this drop shot here soon, though, Taylor.
Definitely are going to have to worry about that. And this is going to be a tough situation now for the boys of Hive. Once again, now they have made themselves, or they have got away with this in the past, and I mean specifically in that last round, but it's just going to be so hard. And I don't know, F&I off the rip just always has an advantage, it seems. Their slaying power just seems different on this map, where just a map previously on Asylum, they were getting outslayed. For Shock to already be on his last life, that hurts. Shock is a great player and almost a glue that holds this roster together for Hive. So him dropping early on is going to be devastating.
You know, and he's probably calling out some of these rotations and leading some of these pushes. And when you're the front guy on that one, sometimes you are going to go down. Your teammates got to follow behind you to clean up these kills. But you know, players like Demise and Tidy, they're going to have to be at the forefront. Now, luckily for them, this is the last round of the first half, so they're going to get their response back going into round number 5. So, Solurs, that was a great kill. Dodges a drop, too, as well. Now, in this moment, let's say that Hive do have the lead here. And this is going to be a 2v2 fight at B. Solurs knows this one, so he's slowly trying to push up here, get the intel he needs. Tidy's going to join this fight, but player 6, Xploidz, he has an angle on his heel, but now Xovios is going to draw his attention. Xovios is going to be trapped here in a 1v2. He gets 1 kill, goes down, but as this is happening, Solurs knows that he needs to push in now. He needs to help his teammate out. Tidy trying to save the day, though.
That was beautiful, baby.
Oh, man. It's back and forth, so back and forth. Granted, F&I has a nice size lead, but you see those fights that take place, and Hive starts to heat it up, but Tidy going down hurts. Now he's going to be down to 1 out of 4. And you already mentioned Xovios and Shock being so low in respawn economy. With Xploidz having that fresh drop shot, all he needs to do is connect on 2 members from Hive, and they're going to be in trouble. So Hive, yeah, they do have the 2-to-1 hill advantage, and they have the lead currently, but it doesn't mean they're comfortable. But that's a great dodge.
It is, and Solurs knows that he has to stay in this position and draw as much fire towards his direction as he can, buying his team enough time for the lead to shift. And F&I know that he can't stay here. Look at 4 Lancers are looking towards his direction, and he's just shimmying across. His teammates, they're getting fortified, but the rest of the Hive members need to be working hard here at getting map control and drawing Lancer fire themselves.
Lancer fire is hugely important on a map like this. I know it seems like everything is close quarter combat, but the Lancer fire, there's a lot of lanes where you can get that additional chip damage. So when the team is forced to press into you, you can get those easy chunks. But now it seems like Hive, this might be their end. I say that Solurs picks it up, but is it going to be enough? Fearzly now fighting for his life in a tough spot. But hey, Hive was still 5 strong up until that point, and now it really doesn't matter that Shock is gone, but it does matter that F&I is on all 3 hills, and that is going to be it. They're going to take a 3-to-1 lead, but another close round.
Good job to Fire and Ice, man. That was a good last-minute fight there for them. They won their individual battles, the 1v1 up top on a home hill. They were able to push in simultaneously and get that decap at B at the right time as Hive. By the time they won that fight, there was just nothing else in which they can do to get back in that round. And so, you know, when you have a guy like, well, let me say this. As we saw Solurs there mid-map at Reactor, it was about 4 Lancers looking his way. As he, even though he's not trying to fight, he still got a few Lancers away from certain key spots on the map that need to be guarded. The other members of Hive need to assess that one, okay? And if they can assess that, then they can get some free shots in and be able to take advantage of some situations. But regardless of, man, it's time for the Fiesta, Taylor.
Hey, we got a Fiesta. That's a drop shot and a boom on the map. We don't get this opportunity very often, so you know what's up, chat. Let's get some Fiestas going, baby, and have ourselves a good time if you weren't already. Hey, Fire and Ice, though, they got everything. They are having the Fiesta. They're the ones hosting and the ones partying, and they are the one getting the kills. 4 go down as Tidy fights for his life. He will be successful as Cristalize tries to pull off a cheeky go with the instant. Not going to happen. But man, what a start for F&I, and I don't know if Tidy can get a touch. He's too far away. I knew he was dancing around a little bit too much, and that's a 4-1 lead.
Man, good job there to Fire and Ice, getting both power weapons. And as soon as they did that, it was just a matter of time before they got the lead here. Looking good on Reactor. Looking damn good on Reactor. Now, when it comes down to weapon placements, Hive is going to, actually, I take that back. Fire and Ice is going to have their incendiary grenade halved here. And I think Hive, they possibly need to match that. Actually, they don't need to match that. They need a front spawn utility here for Xovios, I think maybe Shock. One of these guys need their nade so they can contest against this drop shot. Because if you don't have it, it's so much harder to fight for. Even if you want to set up in a defensive strategy and let your opponent, you know, walk in, get it, you try to land some down, start the revive chain, you know, block it off with incendiary grenade. It's your opponent having that flash grenade to kick that fight off is so huge there. You need to match that.
Absolutely do. Hive, great start. Xploidz falls. Instance out. Fearzly, though, does get the boom. So it's, oh, he can't get that pick. He found the pixel just enough to get in there and get it. So on one end, you have a boom. On the other, you have a drop. And obviously, you want the drop, I think, more so than the boom. But Fearzly's been deadly accurate with it. And he's just going to be roaming around the map looking for his potential victim. And for Shock and Demise, they might be the victim soon.
Yeah, they might be. They might be. And you know, I do believe you only get one boom shot nowadays. You know, they just nerfed the boom to hell. You know, I'm surprised we even still get it a lot. Nice incendiary grenade there by Shock. 2 kills being picked up here by Hive in total. They're gonna get their home hill back. They got 4 players on the neutral as well. Now, Hive sitting in a beautiful position here. They got the power weapons in which they need to hold back Fire and Ice. Now, what do Fire and Ice want to do to break this one? I think that, you know, you got respawns to use in this round. You need to force this drop shot out now so you can have an even battle when it comes down to the new boom shot that's coming up or that new drop shot.
Player 2 will drop in mid, though, so that's going to give the mid presence now over towards F and I. Solurs looks to regain it, and he does by picking up Sleafer. Oh, he's got to get Chaoz here. There's going to be a big pickup, and he gets Xovios up in the mix. Xploidz now coming from the flank. You got 2 members there. You also have Shock from the flank, too, but Cristalize is going to challenge him, take him down. But at the end, it is going to be Hive now forcing a 2v1, as it looks like the other member from F and I is going to fall, and Hive will take the round. I thought it was going to be another 5-1 plays, but it seems as if we got a lot more map to go.
Man, I gotta say, great mechanical skill there from Solurs, and then Xovios as well, because he had a nade behind him. He takes a few extra steps back. He's getting burned alive, but he did not falter. He did not flinch. He stayed in that engagement. He hit his shots. He didn't hit his teammate either. All right, and then they went through. They got all the kills. They get the round win. You know, some you know, Gears players out there who are watching this, you got to understand too as well, these pro players are playing with friendly fire on. If you don't scrim and you don't play in customs, you don't play with friendly fire, and then your wall bouncing all over the place, you're getting in front of your teammates shots like you don't want the help, like you don't want the assist. So you got to be able to hold shots and have control there when you're playing at this level.
And you know, that's the big thing, man. It's a lot different, right? It's a lot different from maybe the games that you're accustomed to playing out there. And it adds to a little level of difficulty. But for Xploidz, no difficulty in taking down Tiny. And in fact, 3 went down momentarily, and it looks like another great start for F and I. Fearzly is going to take that boom, and then we also have the drop coming into the way of Cristalize. So, I don't know, man. This might be it. Hive is off to a very, very bad start. Everywhere I look, F and I is just slaying out.
Taylor, it's Championship Sunday. Never say never. Anything can happen. We've seen it time and time again. Hive, they're surviving in this fight for now, but this is a big engagement here. As you said, they lost all power weapons off the start, but they were still scary enough to force Fire and Ice back here.
All right, well, like you said, Championship Sunday. I would love to see a comeback. I really would. I want to see a round 9 because there was one round 9 I know was casted during the Pro League, and I missed it. I want to be in that position as well.
Taylor, you're going to see
what
it.
it comes down to.
It.
Hey, and you know what? If you say it, I think it's got the seal of approval plays. I know it's real if you say it. You are the ultimate guy who says a comeback is real.
I'm going to put the stamp on it for you, okay? Now, let's see. How is Hive going to do this one? Now, down low, they got D-Hill locked in the 2v2 fight at E, but it's a fiesta on the map, and I hope that Hive finally have their party hats on because they need the entire squad if they want to get down with this boogie. So they're going to be able to get first blood. Demise, he's ready to dance. He picked up a kill on Chaoz. So that's a drop shot. That's definitely going in favor here of Hive. Down low at the boom shot, they already got 2 players waiting in the wins for it. They're in a good position, and they got 2 hills to their name, and they got the win condition. They just need to show some composure.
Hive now with the win condition, as you mentioned. Now, if they could just defensively set up, they're going to be okay. And I think they might be okay in this situation. Everywhere I look, you know, F&I, where are they going to go? Chaoz needs to pick up a kill with the Ensign. At least,
he does.
I don't know, you know, because make it a little bit more even, if you will. For player 7, though, he might be the guy to make a move fiercely. But here comes the Ensign. It's out. It doesn't connect, but it at least backs up Hive. But around the corner is Tidy. And Shock also gets the boom, too. This is looking good for Hive.
Tidy was like, he knew that they were going to get really thirsty there on Xovios there in the late game, knowing that Fire and Ice needed to make a play, but he hits a beautiful back A there to give his team a main advantage. They're fully defending this drop shot, and instead of going for it, they're just still playing defensive. They say, hey, you guys can walk in the hill. The drop shot's not going to play a difference. We're ready to fight you. And on the other end of the map, they're winning their engagements. Hive, they get another one, an elimination victory, 1 round away from that round 9 you want to see, Taylor.
Is that stamp of approval is looking good, man. I'm not gonna lie. You're like a wizard at this point,
baby.
brother. You're like a wizard at this point. Whether it's that drop shot in mid on Vaskar with Rise versus VQ, or now this potential comeback to round 9, and you saying it's gonna happen, I'm telling you, man, you got some insider information, brother. You have to. There's something you know that we don't know.
The Gears gods have favored me for years, Taylor. I don't know why they love me, but you know, I've made it to this point. And you know, I just want to entertain and you know, keep everybody following the action here for Gears of War, because it's levels to this game, and it's a lot of depth here that sometimes everybody don't understand. You know, just with the average eye there, because the game modes are so different than what people normally play here. And we just talked about Friendly Fire, and that's a big one there. Okay. Now, coming into this round here, off the start, Hive, they get the first down, but kills are being traded off, and great engagement there for Fire and Ice. They slay out 3 members. The drop shot's there for pickup. The hill's there for capture. And on the bottom end of the map, I do believe the boom shot's in the hand of Fearzly. Hive, they survived this last time around, but can they do it again? I'm not sure.
I swear to you, they have lost every initial. Like, I don't know what it is about F&I off these starts, but they just dominate them and they make it happen. That's 4 down. Oh, but he, like you said, player 5, it's going to be Solurs, sneaks over, gets to break. At least we'll keep Hive alive. But hey, check it out. Tidy's going to be on lives 1 out of 4, as well as Xovios and Solurs. So it's going to be a tough fight for them to sit into round 9.
Throwing smoke.
All right, now it slows down. Tidy needs to be careful. Xovios needs to be careful. Solurs needs to be careful. It's all about the respawns. That's Fire and Ice's win condition. Outside of the rounds, outside the hills, as long as Fire and Ice can slay out, they'll be okay. But Hive, they're not faltering. They're not slowing down. They're not scared of engagements, Taylor, because it's Championship Sunday, and they are trying to make it to the finals.
Woo, you love to see it. A competitive match still underway. And for Hive, they are not giving up without question. Now, they are down quite a bit, so a lot of work still to be done. The opportunity is there. Now, Fearzly does have that retro, something to think about, especially for getting those cross angles. For Solurs, know where he can go. Look at all that Lancer fire. He does get picked up, though, and he gets capped.
That's a huge revive. That's a huge revive, man. He runs right into the mix-up, and he gets him, he gets out. It's retro Lancers on the map. All the Fire and Ice, they're spitting fire right now with the crossfire. And Hive, they get out, but Demise, if anyone you want to die and you're a Hive fan, it is Demise. He had the response to give, the composure in the middle. Hive looking to, Tidy looking to save the day again. He can't get the revive this time around, but 3 members of Fire and Ice is in this engagement, and they are gonna win that fight in the nick of time to get that drop shot, I believe, coming off respawn. And the boom as well.
I know, it's looking grim, and Chaoz also gets the fresh ensign. Then you also have the retro that's on the map for F&I. I don't know, man. This is looking grim. Hive has basically 1 more attempt to retake control and hold on, but they only get 1 chance here.
1 chance indeed. And Training Grounds is looking like it's gonna be in our future. Nobody else on Hive has respawns to give. Tidy's out of here. 5 points left. No one's at the heels needed. And Fire and Ice, they're gonna land that curveball, folks. Okay, we're going to map 3.
Hey, Hive said they were good on it. Tidy was gassing it up, saying, you know what? We do like Reactor.
They played it well.
But you know what? They played well. They really did. And again, you know, in that first half, it was deadlocked, right? 2-2. It was dead even. I like it. Good close series. It comes down to training grounds. It's anybody's ball game. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, TG between Hive and F&I. Welcome back to the Gears Winter Major, heading into map number 3, training grounds between Hive and F&I. But let's give a little quick recap when it comes to Reactor Blaze. It was a close one, without question, but it looks like F&I may have had the leg up, and that's why they chose it.
Yeah, it definitely did. F&I definitely getting some more reps, some more practice on Reactor. It's our newest map added to the season, so our pro teams, they don't have as many reps on it as they do some of the other maps we have in our series, so not feeling too comfortable. We don't see it too often, but F&I said, you know what, on Championship Sunday, we got time, and it worked out for them. And then also on the flip end, especially for a team like Hive, where if I had to give them any criticism, it's just that sometimes they fight these fights too long, they don't concede rounds, and they lose out on a lot of respawns early, which hurt them. On a map here like Reactor on Championship Sunday, where there's more pressure, you can get lost in those fights easily, trying to be that hero for your team, trying to get that map control. And we even saw there in the end that even if Hive did win those battles, it got to the round 9, they didn't have the respawns to come out on top. Fire and Ice, way more composed, and you know, that Fiesta worked out for them.
It definitely did. You know, we don't see it too often, but I'm telling you, man, F&I just kind of had basically all the power weapons at all points in times, even a retro and an instant thrown into the mix at one point. They had all the utilities to make it work. Their initials were really unparalleled. Hive just couldn't touch them. Now we move into training grounds, though, much different map. What do you think the chances are for Hive? What do you think the chances are for F&I?
Ooh, this is an interesting one, okay? Because we saw Hive play all on training grounds already, and I'm trying to think back. It was in Swiss Pool. It was against Morningstar. All right, and Hive, they put a lot of their attention towards the B hill and on platform on that side of the map. They wasn't trying to get lost in that engagement, that crazy fight at U in the Overlook. So and they put the drop shot early on. I want to say it was like round 3. They had already built up round 3 or 4. They had already built up their incendiary grenade. Drop shot goes down, and they sat in that position. They had a game plan, and it worked out for them. One of these squads here, even if they're winning, is going to have to put the drop shot down, because I think Fire and Ice favors the fight more at the Overlook, that U side of training grounds. They want that engagement. They love those staticky fights, man. And I don't think Hive is going to let them get it. I think Hive is going to stay way more composed than we've seen them before. So the drop shot is going to be crucial for the team that has the confidence to put it down early.
And you know what's interesting to me? You mentioned the drop shot. I think that is going to be a critical factor that we're going to ultimately see. You know what? It's funny. You favor Hive. I think F&I might be okay if the drop shot gets placed. And the reason why is because of Reactor. You saw off the initials, the slaying power they were able to bring to the table. Of course, training grounds, a lot more open, a bit different. But if you can get in that close confined section, right, just on that U and fight for the drop, I think F&I might be able to put up a great fight here. It's anybody's ball game without question. And I don't know who's going to take it. But all I know is I'm excited to watch game number 3, and I'm happy we made it to this point, because I'm not gonna lie, Blaze, I was worried for F&I after their 5-1 loss on Asylum. I was like, ooh, I think F&I is definitely gonna lose this, but hey, here we are going to game 3.
And yeah, you know, and Hive, they dominated on Asylum, so that was a great victory for them. That's one of their best maps, and we know it. And they fought hard there on Reactor, so you know, a lot of teams, man, they know that map's gonna be a hard one to win. In the end, it came down to these points. This came down to this point, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Both these squads, map 3, it's the losers bracket. Their season is on the line here, and it comes down to a map like training grounds. They got a lot of reps on it, rotations, teamwork, the initials. All of it's gonna play into a factor here. And one of these guys, man, they have to progress on and play Rise. Not play Rise. They have to go on and play Rebel, which is not going to be an easy task whatsoever. But don't focus. Don't we ain't got to focus on that one right now because both these squads here, they got to get past this map.
And just to update you guys out there, Rise did in fact beat Carnage Gaming 2-0 on Bunker and TG. And that means we're going to have a good old-fashioned Rise versus UYU in our loser bracket round 5. But like you said, though, whoever wins this, Hive or F&I, they will move on to play against Rebel, another talented team, a talented roster, and some more Gears action still yet to come. Hive's going to take the early 2-1 hill advantage. Fire and Ice now has to find a way to battle through. They've got 3 members to the 2 of Hive going into B. It looks like you do have Shock, who's going to be in God spot looking to Lancer them down, but maybe a good push as Tidy and Xovios will fall.
Man, that's a double down, and great, I think, focus fire coming from Chaoz at the time at Heaven to be able to keep Shock's head down or down Xovios there in that moment. But Fire and Ice, they get the B hill, and they should be able to get this home hill without any issues. Player 7, player 6, they both had a 1v2 to come out on top of. Fearzly wins his. Xovios, you got it in you. He goes down as well. Hive, they falter, and Fire and Ice, they strike first. Now, Taylor, to kick that one off, both squads ran different strategies. Fire and Ice, they sent 3 people towards the Overlook. Hive, they sent 3 people down low to B. But it was a good setup for Hive. They just got out-crossed. Now, F&I, they're going to be bringing out their front spawn utility. And Hive, I told you, whoever would have put it down first, the game's going to be in their favor. And Hive came into this one with a game plan. And now, let's see what they got planned for us.
Ooh, this is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Let's not forget, Hive did get Bravo early on. Now, I am sad we don't get the drop shot over and Overlook. Now, it's going to be fun for first half, but second half, it's going to make things a little bit weird. But it will allow you to go for the overextension a lot more easier if you do get that drop shot on the second half. We'll find out how that's going to work out, though. We still have 3 more rounds to go, and Xploidz is a nice shot at Xovios. Xovios fights back, but Sleafer is there for the pickup. Looks like F&I might be forcing an overextension here, but Solurs looking to go big, takes out one, but can't get the second. And now Shock in a bad position, needs to isolate one of them, tries on Cristalize at first, doubles back to Xploidz, but the end result is him falling. So, Fire and Ice looking solid. Let's see if Chaoz can get this drop.
You got multiple Lancers watching this. Also, player 3 is going to be Cristalize. He's helping his teammates to keep Xovios' head down. Pre-fire is everything in this situation, and that pre-fire is actually going to get them a down there on Fearzly. We'll see if that gets cleaned up. But if you can have the foresight to know that your opponent is running for that drop, you got a lot of Lancer bullets in that clip, and I rarely see players ask for Lancer ammo, okay? So use it all up, and you're gonna get a full clip when you respawn as well. But that's extra pressure, okay? That you have on your opponent, and it makes a difference here in these big-time matchups.
Man, I don't know. F&I is just looking different. And this is the thing. Their slaying power from Reactor to here, it looks like it kind of transferred over. They're coming together very well. You talk about that wolf packing. Well, they do it, and maybe not all of them together, but even when they do 2 or 3 strong, it's tough to get through them. Either way, Hive does have the 2-1 hill advantage. This forces F&I to make a move, and it looks like they want to go for this overextension. They've got to get through Solar and Demise around the corner. That's one. Demise should fall shortly. Believe it or not, he actually picks up a kill, and he's going to be able to keep him at bay as long as he can, but he eventually falls, and F&I is also going to be on B2. Hive is looking at a potential domination.
And the drop shot's still in play. No one's been able to touch it. Hive doing a fantastic job defending against it. Nice down there by Shock. He gets the revive. Could not save Tidy, and he goes down as well because here comes Chaoz. He got a great cross there through middle. He left the fight on a home hill, knew that it was most important to get the drop shot here for his teammates and get the B hill. F9, they will get this trip cap domination without any issues whatsoever.
Man, 2 fantastic rounds coming out from F&I, and Hive has to figure something out quickly. They're not winning the drop shot. Actually, I am shocked the drop shot didn't even play a factor in that last round. That's actually insane to me. And that just comes to, I don't know. I thought it would make the team just go, headstrong into each other, but it hasn't prioritized the fight at all. The B fight still looks the same as it would normally look without the drop shot.
And what F&I did so great there to kick off that round, not playing into the hand there of Hive, right? And then on the flip end, Hive still matched the numbers that Overlook that time around, and they knew it was going to kind of be a stalemate at B. But when F&I's pushing that home hill, Hive needs to rotate quicker and use their numbers down here to get the weapon. This time, Heidi goes in. He's going to sacrifice his life there to get the drop shot, and he's on his last down, so weak, can't move an inch. He shoots one over the top and misses, but he relieves some pressure there for his team and allows Demise to move up just a bit more. Now he has to cut back towards his home hill. Solurs is calling for help. Will a drop shot come from downtown? Does he get the help? There it goes.
Hey, there it is. And that's a 2-piece. That's big. And Tidy now in a 1v2, actually make that a 2v2. Well, hold up a second. Xploidz is doing a great job keeping them at bay. Shock says, hey, I've had enough, my guy. Please leave me alone. But Xploidz will finally drop, and Hive will inevitably have control. Took a while to get there, but look, they've netted themselves a 40-point lead. Fire and Ice is going to take them a while before they're able to hop on B or any other hill. So Hive is going to have a decent lead before F&I makes their second move.
And both these squads know that the drop shot is the focus here on this map, so they're gonna get set up. But I don't know if that fight's the best there for F&I because Hive, they're expecting it. Fire and Ice need to push the home hill. They push the home hill, they thin out the defenses at drop shot, and then Fire and Ice is in a good position. But you gotta do it at the right time when the drop shot's spawning to add more pressure to Hive.
Pressure definitely needs to be there. If F&I takes this round, man, leading 3-0, knowing the best that Hive can do going into second half is a 3-1 advantage, hey, that would feel good. But it's looking unlikely, as Hive is going to wipe out 3 members of F&I, retake control, more importantly, go for the domination. Fearzly has to mantle over. I say that, well, I guess he doesn't. I can't. Hey, he said, let's just chalk up the round. We already know where it's going. He gives it up. 2-1. Hive takes their first round.
And so in that moment there, you know, we talked about F&I having to push the home hill, but it was actually Hive that kind of made the first move there at Overlook. And they started the fight on their terms there. And it's so important, especially when you're in these big time matches. Do you want to be reactive to what your opponent throws at you? You're feeling like Noble? Or do you want to set the pace, okay? Do you want to force people to play around your squad and what you guys set up like PK? You know, it's different play styles in Gears of War that we always try to highlight, but each of them are credible and they work. You just have to make a decision as a team. Who do you want to be like?
Be like Mike. I think that's the answer for everybody out there.
It really is, right? We want to be, yeah. And who's Mike in Gears of War, okay?
Well, I would say mental, honestly, but I mean,
you can still say them, okay?
Okay, then I will say mental. Be like mental. Then if you want to be, it's a hard task to do. But hey, you still looking to secure this championship. For F&I and Hive, though, man, this has been such a great map. Let's not forget, Hive was in the lower Swiss. F&I was in that higher Swiss, and Hive went undefeated, right? So they have made a very impressive run to make it to this point. But to be in loser bracket, to be on game 3 with your tournament life at stake, the pressure is unmeasurable. And for Hive and F&I, though, they've been here before, and that gives them an additional leg up. I wouldn't say on each other necessarily, but it just means they're playing a same Gears match that they would be playing on week 1 of Split 1. And I like it. For Hive, though, they've got one more round to take, but Cristalize has to drop in hand, and Demise will get dropped, which means he's not going to use it as of yet. I'm curious, when is the right moment? Well, I guess it's now. Shot, hit marker, but he's not going down.
Oh, he went, okay. I thought he went a little bit too far with it. I said, where are you going? It's so much cover there. It lands on the opposite edge. It does nothing. But great usage of smokes there by Hive. Cristalize stayed composed. He gets the kills he needs. Shock's going to get timed out. So the 2-1 hill advantage stays in favor of Fire and Ice. Now, there's no more power weapons on the map. F&I is exactly where they want to be. How's Hive going to break this one, folks? Well, it's the same answer that I got in the previous round for Fire and Ice when they were in this position. You got to start a fight on a home hill around the same time that drop shot spawning up. Force your opponent to have to make difficult decisions. Also, the support players, the guys in heaven, if it is anyone there looking down, because both these squads are looking for a prayer here in this series. They need to focus a player. Use those Lancers. Keep some heads down there.
say good eliminations, man, and it looks like Hive is now going to get the break once again onto B. They're down 60 points. A lot of work to be done, but the reality is now F&I, they've got to wait for Cristalize and Chaoz to get back into the fight. So that's going to allot Hive to close out that deficit a lot more than they were probably even expecting. And more importantly, Tidy gets the drop blaze. Hive might be able to flip the script and take this round.
Might be able to. The Lance of Fire is there from Zovios. That's the overlook, watching down on his teammates. Now, they lose the B hill. They need that. They need a trip cap domination if they want to come out on top here, Taylor. This is the last round of the half. Look at the respawns, man. Fire and Ice is in a beautiful position once again. Demise has none left. Tidy is about to be on his last as well. Nobody's in position to get the C hill. And Fire and Ice, they dominate this first half. And that's after Hive put the drop shot down early and they try to force Fire and Ice to have to play into their hand there.
And it's not worked out for them, like, at all. I said they might be able to flip the script, and as soon as I said that, Tidy gets absolutely desecrated when he picks up the drop shot. F&I pushes in, gets 3 down. They take over B, and by then knew it was over, especially when Sleafer gets that up A on one of the Hive members. I'm like, oh, things are looking ugly. 3-1. Not where you want to go, especially in the first half. Now, we talked about the second half, the drop shot being down at range, where that neutral once was. That's going to be an important fight because now, yeah, you can focus on E, and I think that's important. But more importantly, the drop shot fight has to take place, and you already know if one of the teams wins it, they're immediately going for the overextension, and that's going to put them in a 2-1 hill advantage, and that's going to alleviate pressure on E. I say that. And it looks like Hive is going to prioritize E. F&I is going to prioritize the drop shot. I'm curious to see which strategy comes out ahead.
I am as well. I don't think Shock should be capping his heal. I think he should be playing for damage right now. He needs to. This Hive needs to be getting a head count. If they identified that 3 was down low, then these members of Hive should not be sitting at the back U at this portion. But regardless, F&I, they get the power weapons. They're going to stay alive too as well. Tidy goes down. Chaoz goes down, but he's not going to be able to get cleaned up. And Fire and Ice, they're going to slow down this round here. And they come out on top. That's a 4-1 victory for them. Now, still early on. Still early on in this matchup. Let's see if Hive can get a few early kills here and retake back this U.
So, Fearzly pops one out, goes for the finish on Solurs. He knew he had the hit marker. Now be able to force the issue onto Demise. Demise will fall. So tough start, man, and it gets even rougher from Tidy and Shock as they're last up. Two-piece tries to go through. Drop shot a bit too short. That would have been very impressive, but the same thing, though. The drop shot is, or excuse me, the Lancer Fire is there. You got Sleafer on the flank, and the Hive boys start to go down one by one as F&I looks to lock this up in a 4-1 way, and yeah, they're going to get it. Xopio's just a hair short at the 1 yard line from getting the touch. It's looking rough if you're a Hive fan.
All right, let's talk about a few things here. To kick off that round, Hive was way too passive when they had their advantage on that side of the map, especially if you're going to run 3 at Overlook and the drop shot and the incendiary grenades on the other side of the map, and the Fire and Ice, they wasted no time gathering those resources. Now, the beauty is about how the map is set up currently is that if you get a home hill setup, you're getting incendiary grenades, you're getting drop shots, you got the height advantage. Everything is in your favor to win this game as long as you win that initial down low at the range. This time around, I'm curious to see what strategy we're going to see. I know Hive is saying that, hey, if we get that overlook control, we get the extra angle towards mid-map, we can pick up with some early kills, we'll be all good. But I think you have to revert to your base strategy here. Your base is your strongest strat. Hive, they're throwing 3 at E again. They need a head count. Somebody needs to be calling numbers right now, and I need to see a great rotation out of them if they want to keep their tournament life alive.
More importantly, we just need to see them win this top fight. F&I already gets... Oh, but I like this.
That's what they wanted.
With the Lancer. That is exactly what they wanted. That's what they needed. The angle is in, but the reality is the drop shot gets away. Cristalize, he's happy with that, and oh no, he can use it straight onto Overlook. This might be... Oh no, his teammate is going to be there. But again, if you're gonna send 3 strong onto E, you gotta win it. And Hive loses it for the 2nd time.
And all I gotta say is Fearzly made a big play there. He had to push Tidy down low, relieve some pressure for his team so they can safely get out with that drop shot, because they recognized that it was a 2. They had the extra man over there. So Fearzly played his life for the ultimate goal of his squad to put them here in a winning position. And they get the triple kill. Cristalize is going to solidify this victory probably.
Absolutely. Solurs really, I mean, does he even have a leg to stand up? Well, look, he's 10 toes down. He's going to try and hold him, but it's going to be so hard as they come up those steps. Solurs knows he's in trouble. He sees one on the flank, and now Hive into that's it. Come on, you got to go for the fire and the flames.
Oh,
that is terrible. That's heartbreaking, Blaze. That is heartbreaking. Oh, man, Fire and Ice takes it, Blaze. 5-1, that's impressive.
Impressive indeed. Fire and Ice in those last 2 maps, they played their ass off, Taylor. No matter what was thrown their direction, they was able to counter it. They had a fantastic matchup there. They threw the curveball at Reactor, locked it in, and they played flawlessly there on training grounds. Fire and Ice looking to play their rivals in Rebel next, and that matchup is going to be insane.
And you know F and I was playing good when you bring out the pipes. Blaze, you were over there singing Fearzly's name, man, with them playing so well. That was an exciting match. When I see that instant go on steps, I'm like, oh no, it's over with. And you just know there's nothing Hive could do. And they get so desperate they have to push through the flames and they get burnt to a crisp. It is what it is. Look, the better team won at the end of the day. Hive was very impressive on Asylum. They started off so strong, 5-1 victory. But then Reactor, it was close. The rounds looked solid, but a 5-3 victory for F&I. And that slaying power, it really spoke to me because I'm like, man, I don't know, F&I, they just kind of woke up. They look different. I know it's early in the morning for these gamers out there, Blaze, especially if they spend all night playing, doing the VOD review, doing what they need to do to become champions themselves. But I will say this, there was an absolute momentum shift in the slaying power and just the overall teamwork from F&I after Reactor, and that made me very worried for Hive. And well, it seems my worries came to fruition as they lost 5-1. But hey, it was a good run for Hive, Blaze.
It was a damn good run for him, man. And on that last map, you know, even with the drop down, I wanted to see Hive commit more resources to the platform at drop shot. You know, one of their best slayers there in Zovios is on the other side of the map at Overlook. And, you know, he's the one that can really win you the battle that you need to get all those power weapons on the lower portion of the map. But Hive, they wanted to play it smart. They had set a trap there for Fire and Ice to start the revive train and down out that drop shot and possibly get 2 kills. But in the end, it didn't work out for them because Fire and Ice properly assessed their numbers. They knew where their main advantages was, and they took those advantages a little bit quicker than Hive, and that ultimately got them set up in those last 3 rounds to really come out here and dominate that victory.
I will say this, the way that F&I is playing, it's going to be a fun matchup coming up in loser bracket round 6. You're going to have Rebel versus F&I. Like, you know, you have Latam versus Latam. They're going to have to cannibalize each other, and it's just going to be interesting to see who ends up moving forward. Still a lot more storylines to tell and storylines to unfold during this tournament.
Rebel, F&I,
UYU
and Rise. Oh, man.
Latam, NA. It's craziness, Blaze.
Yeah, nah, it is, man. Colin and Jacob, man, they got themselves a good block of matches coming up here soon. And folks, it's Championship Sunday, okay? It's win or go home. You don't want to miss out on this one.
You definitely don't want to miss out, without question. And I got to say, man, it's been a fun night. Fun day, I should say.
Morning.
Look, we've been casting so much. Fun morning.
Gears
Still
been
more
on our mind all night.
Hey, all night, all day. Like Blaze said, Jacob and Colin, they're going to be coming on to cast some great matchups. Don't go anywhere. More Gears still to come. We'll see you in a bit.